Imagine a world over 2,500 years ago, a place we now call Italy, where Rome began as a small village on the banks of the Tiber. It was here, nestled among 7 hills, that the seeds of a great civilization were sown. The story of Rome is rich with legends and myths, and perhaps none is more famous than the tale of its founding. It is said that in 753 before Christ, the city of Rome was founded by a man named Romulus. But Romulus was no ordinary man. The legend tells us he and his twin brother Remus were sons of the god Mars and a Vestal virgin named Rhea Silvia. Abandoned at birth, they were discovered by a she-wolf who, in a remarkable twist of fate, chose to nurture them rather than devour them. Romulus and Remus grew up strong and brave, embodying the spirit of the wolf that had raised them. It was this spirit that led them to envision a city atop Rome's 7 hills. But their shared dream turned to rivalry, and in a fit of rage, Romulus slew his brother. From that moment, Romulus took the reins of his dream, marking the boundaries of his city with a plow. It was a city that would bear his name, Rome. The story goes that he welcomed all to his city, from refugees and exiles to runaway slaves and criminals. This was the beginning of the Roman kingdom, a realm that would one day grow to span the known world. The early Roman kingdom was a simple monarchy, with Romulus as its first king. The people were mostly farmers and shepherds, living in simple huts on the hills. Despite the humble beginnings, the seeds of greatness were being sown. Thus, from a humble beginning, the city of Rome was born, setting the stage for a civilization that would change the world. As the sun rose on the 6th century BC, Rome shook off its monarchic past and embraced a new form of government, the Republic. The Roman Republic, established in 509 BC, was a radical departure from the kingships of the past. It was a system where the power was not concentrated in the hands of one man, but shared among elected officials. This was a system of checks and balances, of consuls and senators, and of citizens with voting rights. The Republic began its growth by consolidating power within the Italian peninsula. Rome's dominance over its neighbors wasn't achieved through peaceful negotiations, but through a series of hard-fought wars and alliances. The Republic was a force to be reckoned with, and its influence continued to spread across Italy. But Rome's ambition didn't stop at the borders of Italy. They looked across the Mediterranean to the wealthy city of Carthage. This sparked the Punic Wars, a series of 3 brutal conflicts that spanned over a century. Rome, in its tenacity and might, emerged victorious, signaling its ascendancy as a Mediterranean superpower. Amid the Republic's expansion, figures of great influence rose to prominence. One such figure was Julius Caesar, a military genius and a shrewd politician. Caesar extended Rome's territory to the Gauls and won the hearts of the public with his victory. His popularity grew so immense that it threatened the very foundation of the Republic. His rise to power was a clear indication that the Republic was evolving, and perhaps not in the direction its founders had envisaged. The Republic was a time of great expansion and development for Rome. Yet it was also a period of social unrest, political upheaval, and power struggles. The very principles that the Republic stood for, shared power, checks and balances, and citizen involvement, started to crack under the weight of Rome's growing empire and the ambitions of powerful individuals. The Republic, however, was not to last forever. The seeds of its downfall were sown from within. The fall of the Republic gave birth to an empire, the likes of which the world had never seen. It was a time of transformation, when political turmoil and the shock waves of Julius Caesar's assassination paved the way for a new era. Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, known to history as Augustus, stepped into the power vacuum. He skillfully navigated the political landscape, outmaneuvering rivals and consolidating power until he was able to declare himself the first Roman emperor in 27 BCE. With the rise of Augustus, the Roman Empire began to take shape. His reign initiated the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability that lasted for over 200 years. Despite the internal strife and civil wars that marked the transition from republic to empire, the Pax Romana allowed Rome to flourish. Trade thrived, infrastructure improved, and arts and literature experienced a golden age. But the Roman Empire was not just about peace and prosperity. From the sun-baked sands of Africa to the frigid frontiers of northern Europe, and as far east as Asia, Rome's influence spread. Its legions marched across continents, bringing new territories under Roman rule. The empire's reach was vast, its power unchallenged. Yet within this vast empire, there was unity through diversity. The Romans were masters of assimilation, adopting and adapting elements of the cultures they conquered. This cultural melting pot enriched the empire, contributing to its longevity and its enduring influence on the world. The Roman Empire was not just a political entity, it was a complex, vibrant, and diverse civilization. It was a beacon of power and influence, a testament to what humanity could achieve when united under a single banner. But empires, like all things, are not eternal. Even the mightiest have their sunset, and so the Roman Empire, after centuries of domination, would eventually face its own twilight. But that's a story for the next scene. The Roman Empire stood as a beacon of power and influence, but even the mightiest have their sunset. As the 5th century AD dawned, so did the twilight of the Roman Empire. The mighty empire that once held sway over much of the known world was beginning to show signs of crumbling. But what led to this monumental downfall? The decline of the Roman Empire is a complex tale, woven with threads of economic troubles, military issues, and the ruthless sacking of Rome by the Visigoths. The empire's economy was strained under the weight of a bloated military, rampant inflation, and a dwindling tax base. The once robust Roman military was stretched thin across vast territories, leaving Rome vulnerable to external threats. Among these threats were the Visigoths, a Germanic tribe who, in the late summer of 410 AD, breached the walls of Rome, an event that shocked the world. For 3 days, the city was at the mercy of its invaders. The sacking of Rome was a devastating blow, a symbolic end to the invincibility of the empire. Yet the fall didn't happen all at once. In an attempt to manage the sprawling empire, it was divided into 2 halves: the Western Roman Empire, with its capital at Rome, and the Eastern Roman Empire, centered in Constantinople. This division, however, merely delayed the inevitable. The Western Roman Empire, weakened and vulnerable, continued its decline. In 476 AD, a significant date in history was etched. The last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic king Odoacer. This marked the official end of the Western Roman Empire, the fall of Rome. The eastern half, however, managed to survive for another 1,000 years as the Byzantine Empire. And so, the sun set on the Roman Empire, but its legacy was far from forgotten. The echoes of Rome's influence can still be felt today in our laws, our culture, and our civilization. Even in its fall, Rome left an indelible mark on the pages of history. Rome may have fallen, but its echoes resonate through time. From the Latin language that once reverberated through its marble halls, Rome's influence is still felt today. Latin, the tongue of the Romans, became the foundation for the Romance languages, including French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian. Even English, while not a Romance language, has been heavily influenced by Latin, with about 60% of its vocabulary derived from this ancient language. In the realm of law, Rome's legacy is profound. The Roman legal system, with its principles of justice, fairness, and the rule of law, served as the bedrock for many modern legal systems. Concepts like innocent until proven guilty and the right to a fair trial are echoes from Rome's legal framework, shaping the course of jurisprudence and human rights. But Rome's influence did not stop at language and law. It extended into the realm of architecture. The designs of Roman buildings, with their arches, domes, and aqueducts, have inspired countless structures in our world today. From the United States Capitol to the Pantheon in Paris, Roman architectural principles continue to shape our skylines, reminding us of a civilization that valued beauty, functionality, and endurance. And let's not forget Rome's contribution to governance. The Roman Republic, despite its flaws and eventual fall, birthed the concept of representative government. This idea that citizens should have a voice in their own governance is a cornerstone of many modern democracies. The Roman Senate, a political institution that was once the heart of the Roman Republic, has lent its name to legislative bodies around the world. Rome's legacy is not just in its concrete contributions to language, law, architecture, and government. It's also in the stories we tell, the history we study, and the way we view our own societies. Rome serves as a mirror, reflecting both our achievements and our failures, our aspirations and our fears. From a humble village to a global empire, Rome's journey has left an indelible mark on the sands of time.